prison, in and out. That does not scare me at all. The day most of these people say these things, they speak from a point of privilege. They've not seen life like we've seen life. They've not been in any, like,
Sure.
maybe
Yeah.
close space with people that have
True.
experienced um, crimes of passion and all those things. You don't know what you're talking about. Now, once the system fails you, it gets to a point where you're done. And once you're done, you are really, really done. Like I've gotten to a point where I'm done. I am done. And I've lost so many friends to one, suicide. I've lost them to crimes of passion. I've lost friends to so many other things. You get to a point and you're like, I'm not losing any
Yeah.
other person. I am not losing myself again, number one, and I'm not losing any other person. Now, about the justice system, they can always arrest you. But I keep telling people that even if today, tomorrow, I slapped a man because he raped a child and they arrest me, even on the day I'm released, I will slap them again so that they take me back. You understand? And I will do it again until the justice
Sure.
system wakes up and they do what they're supposed to do.
Karibu.
No way.
Musibire muta. Mwasibye mtya. Amahoro. Agandi. Bible. Habari gani? Muraho. Sangonini. Kopango. Odeo. For those of you who are wondering what that was, these are some of the various local greetings found in East Africa's diverse languages. Welcome to She Center, the female podcast, where I dive into the issues and experiences that affect women everywhere. I am your host, Resti Kansime, and I am passionate about creating a safe space for women to share their stories and triumphs. I want to thank you for tuning into my podcast, and I would love for you to join our community and stay connected with us beyond this episode. You can find us on Instagram at _She Center _podcast, and follow us on Facebook at the She Center Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and hit that follow and like button on our social media to be part of the conversation. Welcome back, everyone, to the She Center podcast. And today I have a very, very special guest. I have shared with her, but I'm going to share with you guys again. So I started out with this podcast asking the question, what happened to you? Where people share different things that happened to them and how they might have impacted their lives or on how they see the world. And then we asked, are you living in your purpose? Where people get to tell us, a little bit of their story and how that has shaped what they do or what they think they were created to do on this earth. And when I started the She Center platform, I was of the view that some people might not really know what is happening maybe in Africa or East Africa. And because every time I shared stories from my field work in remote villages in Uganda, I realized some people were oblivious to the stories of people. And yet, on my podcast, I was able to show that these stories that were impacting women in remote villages were also impacting women in the city, people abroad and people living in different countries. So we know that in every second, somewhere in Africa, a woman is being failed by a system that was never built to protect her. She's a child who has lost her parents. She had no one to step in to help her. She's a girl who is being abused in silence because no one told her adults how to help her. People are not trauma informed in society. And she's a young woman who turned to the streets because she wanted to do that and because she felt like that was the streets were safer for her and that's the only place where she had to go. So today's guest is that woman in one way, because as I have told her and as I'm going to tell you guys, I had a problem statement for starting the She Center platform, and this guest just ticked each and every box. I'm smiling not because I'm in amazement of the fact that when I was imagining a young girl out there or a woman who is going through different things, I never knew that I would find a unique case study. So in my master's thesis, my professor told us that when we want to prove our case to society or in a research paper, which I hope to do during my PhD, he told us that we need to find a unique case study. It can be an interview with someone, or it could be a specific thing that explains the whole reason why we are doing our research. And this guest stands out to be that person who is uniquely proving the reason why a society or a community like East Africa needs a female digital platform that holistically caters to the problems of women. And more importantly, she is an everyday woman. She is someone who can relate with everybody. She's someone we see on our screens. She's someone we see on our social media feed. But at the same time, she's a person who has gone through so much. Her name is Aleti Crystal, and her story is not here for your pity. It is here for your understanding. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you about the platform I built for women. It is supposed to help women who are walking in all parts of their lives so that they don't walk alone. So welcome once again to the She Center podcast, and I am your host, Resti Kansime. So I would like us to begin by getting to know our guest. Just imagine this is a new audience. No one knows you here. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I can be able to start asking the first question. Yes.
Hi everyone, I hope you're
Yeah.
well. My name is Aleti Crystal. I'm a Ugandan, of course. I'm a travel creator. Also, I do wellness, lifestyle, very big on mental health. Um, do I need to tell them about my profession? I don't think that's important, right? Is it? Yeah, so I'm just a girl that's currently
Yeah, whatever
working
you want to share,
hard.
I think that can give an insight. Whatever you want to share.
Okay, yeah, I'm just a girl that's currently
Okay.
trying to heal from the so many things that happened to her. I do so many things for work, content creation. I'm a businesswoman, but also I went to aviation school professionally. So yeah, so many different things. Woman of all seasons, multifaceted.
Okay. You are. You are a woman of all seasons. Yes.
But
So I want to take you back to when you were a little girl. And my question to you is, what did you imagine your life would look like when you were a young girl? What were your dreams like? What did you feel like when you were young before anything else happened? I don't know if you have any childhood memories from that time.
I do. So my mother loved music. She did music. My mother was a veterinary doctor, but also she did music in church, and then she played in a band. So she loved music. Now, I think from the age of 7, my mother had programmed me and told me that I was going to go to Juilliard for whatever music. Yeah, so
Yeah.
as a child, I didn't think, oh, when I grow up, I want to become a lawyer. I knew for sure. My mother said, you have to go and do music. So it's going to be music, nothing else. At some point, though, I wanted to
Yeah.
become a lawyer. Yeah, like I really, really, really wanted to become a lawyer. Yeah, but nothing,
That's
none of those
nice.
things came to pass. Yeah.
Yeah, did you feel, because I know you said that in the beginning it was you. I'm just drawing from the conversation that you've had for us not to repeat everything. So you said that the trauma, I would say, started at six years. Yeah. My question I want to ask, I don't want you to go into detail, but before 6 years, do you remember any point feeling safe at home with your family?
No, I've actually never experienced any kind of safety in,
Okay.
I've never felt that
Okay.
way. Yeah, I've never. Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
any of those things. It has always been
Okay. I
chaos on chaos.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So,
It's
I
okay.
read this book which I used to answer the first question in my podcast, and it is What Happened to You. It talks about how, from the ages of 0 to 6 years old, is a very crucial stage for like the adulthood of anybody, like the life of any person, because whatever happens in this stage, either it's loss or an accident or maybe a robbery in your house, it's going to shape who you become and how you see the world. And I know that you've already explained this in most of the interviews, and we can see that this is actually what happened. But because I'm trying to build a case, I just want you to just briefly tell us from your experience, knowing that what happens to you from the ages of 0 to 6 impacts who you become and how you see the world. Can you give us a breakdown of how you think that has happened in your life? Because, you know, there's abuse, there's that sense of feeling unsafe, and then there is the loss of a loved one.
Okay. While you said it's from 0 to 6 years, I think mine was a bit different. For as much as I felt unsafe in the home, well, chaos, parents fighting, all these things, your dad leaving, because my dad left before I turned 6. So I think me now, life real happened after the age of 6. I was 7 when all these things started happening. And oh yeah, what you said is actually right. It's terribly, it has terribly affected me as an adult. So like whatever it is that happened as a child, from watching my parents maybe fight on a daily to domestic violence, I realized that everything that I saw my mother go through from the age of 0 to 6, let's say. In this case now, let's talk about what I saw my mother go through, not necessarily me. Everything that I saw her experience, everything that every time she was disrespected and she stayed in the marriage, every time she had to be patient for us, her children, every time she had to welcome home a drunkard, my father, every time my father had to come home with another child and dump the child there for my mother to raise. I was watching as a child. You're watching and you think this is normal, this is okay. I realized that even when I grew up, the same things have happened to me, because the whole time I'm thinking maybe it's a thing. Maybe I normalized it. I normalized
It's
the
a
fact that,
normal
oh, if a
thing.
man
Yeah.
comes, yeah, it's a normal thing. I was like,
Yes.
if my mother stayed, I'm going to stay. Even if they're beating you, just be patient, because you're trying to, be a strong person. Or it happens in marriage. Like for me, it was my normal. I was like, you know what? I didn't know better actually. So it's
Yeah.
terribly affected me as an adult.
That speaks a lot. I'm thinking of so many people who have not shared that, but you can see it in their
Mm,
lives. Like
yeah.
I was listening to a podcast, and someone was saying, like, I think they almost died. Like it got to a point where they nearly died, and this person,
Mm.
like the son of this woman, she's in America. She was tired. She got to a point where she got a gun and shot her dad, like point blank, like shot
Oh.
him, because she figured, okay, if you can't do it as my mom, I'm going to do it, because they were literally stuck in this prison. And she was sharing in a podcast episode, and they asked her, why didn't you leave? Because apparently this guy was a pastor, the guy who was doing this to her. So they asked her,
Mm.
why didn't you leave? She said, sometimes you're just like, the world doesn't understand why you're stuck in a place, but you just stuck there. You don't know what to do. And it usually comes from how you view marriage. And I think that speaks so much to parents, to understand that what you are doing, the decisions you're deciding to make when you are raising your
Mm.
children, they are going to impact how they choose their partners in the future. It's going to affect who they become and how they act like they show up in this world. And I wanted to ask,
Mm.
because we attach a lot of things as young kids to our worth. Like if I come to my mom and I try, to get her attention, she says no. I'm like, oh, I'm not loved. I'm sure you've
Mm.
read it. It's so hard because I already know your story. So my questions come
Mm.
off with a feeling like I'm repeating, but just for the sake of
No,
people
it's
who are
okay.
listening to
It's
this
okay.
for the first time,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, how did the things that were happening to you, how did you attach them to your worth? How did you attach them to who you thought you were as a person?
Mm. Um,
Yeah.
Again, from the age of maybe let's say, I'm going to say 3 to 7, before my world crashed.
Yeah.
I knew my mom loved me and she cared for me and she loved me and it was always me, her princess, yeah. I knew I was like at home. I was the baby. She loved me for sure. However, when I turned 7, everything changed. And for me, I think when I went through sexual abuse, when I was raped, and I went to my mom and said, "Oh, Uncle did ABCD," and my mother turned me away, literally beat me up for speaking up. I realized that I was worthless. You understand? Like I was like, you don't speak up ever. You don't. Maybe you're useless. You understand? And it just got worse from there. She just kept on doing the same thing until she passed away. So even as an adult, and right before I went to therapy, I used to think, no, no matter what happened to me, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm not supposed to experience happiness. I'm not supposed to I mean, look at my childhood. There was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of chaos. Maybe me, I was built different. Maybe I don't deserve to be here. Maybe I don't know. There was a lot of worthlessness. I don't know if I make sense. Yeah. So yeah,
It does, yeah.
mm, there.
I know you shared somewhere about how when the abuse happened, your mom took you to get checked.
Yeah.
Do you remember maybe in that moment, did you have that feeling of saying, okay, I know you said that maybe you thought she would do something, but did anybody in the hospital do anything? Like, did they do anything to help you? Did they at least give you some sort of like counseling, or did any person who you shared with that situation, or maybe you didn't share it with anybody and it's only your mom who knew, did you receive any
Mm.
form of support outside your mom saying, let's not talk about this?
So initially, in the beginning, when I told her, she did not believe me because the first time it happened, she just beat me up. And then it kept on happening again and again until I turned 9. So when I turned 9, I tried to speak up again. And then, of course, now she was doing the same thing. She was calling me problematic. This girl, on Swaza in Uganda, you're embarrassing me. You don't say such things. This girl, she's spoiled. That's what she used to say. She's spoiled. And then she used to attach what I used to tell her to the devil.
Yeah.
She's like, Olimana was stan, Olimana was stan, you understand? Um, there was no support from her at all until I spoke to a friend of her. There was a friend of hers. My mom had a corporate job, so she was away most of the time. But then she had a friend who always received us after school because I was in day school. So one evening I'm back home, and I think she could tell I was first of all, I was smelly. There was something, there was a discharge there because my mom was never home to take care of me. It was hard for her to notice that. It was the uncles taking care of us, you understand, and maybe aunties, every now and then. So this mom's friend, neighbor, realizes something is off. She's seeing me. I was walking a certain way. She's like, "Are you okay? Do you have did you step on something?" I'm like, "No." So I open up and tell her the truth, and she was in shock. So I think she's the only person that gave me any support whatsoever, because she listened to me. She checked me immediately. Then she called my mom immediately. She sat my mom down and said, "Hey, this is happening." My mother was like, "Oh, I'm aware, but I didn't think it was real. I thought she was joking." And then now my mother had to take me to the hospital. In the hospital, they just did their job. Of course, check you. The doctor checks you. You are too young to understand, but you're worried because, and I was praying. I don't even know what I thought they were going to find down there, but I was like, God, please let them find something so that my mother like gets to know I was not lying. You understand?
And believe
So
you.
the hospital
Yeah.
really there was
Yeah.
yeah, there was no support apart from one doctor calling another doctor to come and hear my story and to laugh at me. You know how it is sometimes. Just be like, "Ono mtona yewe bamkozesa," you understand? Such things. So you are a child, but you're hearing these things and they are affecting you
Yeah.
in a way. So yeah, there was no support whatsoever from the hospital. There was only support from that lady. And then, of course, my mom, after the hospital, she tried to fix things, but I think I had zoned out. I'd already convinced myself, you know what, Aleti, you're not loved at home and it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I met a young girl doing my research in Hoima district, and the teacher calls us and says, hey, you guys are doing research, on young girls. You need to talk to this girl. She's not in your target audience, but please talk to her. So it was about school-related gender-based violence. And this young girl was being abused by her dad. In the village when, your mom dies and your dad is the man is like the single man, so he's raising young girls, so he just got onto the young one. Apparently it's a common thing in the village because the men are insecure, they're probably drunkards, they don't have, I think, like the guts to go and vibe older women, or maybe they are refusing them, so they take advantage of the young ones. So this girl was practically his wife. If you had the Joyce Meyer story, this was this girl. He kind of like this girl goes and tells the teachers, and the teachers are like, they go, as a community, they try to talk to the guy because they asked her, should we take you away? And she says, no, my younger sisters, if you'll take me, then he's going to start doing it to my young sisters. And so
Yeah.
they go to him and have a talk, like this guy talking is going to help him to stop. So they try to tell him, can you please stop what you're doing? What? And the guy like pretends like, I don't even know what the conversation was like, but it didn't stop. So this teacher was telling us how this girl is so distracted in class. I can't even imagine. Sometimes even just not having breakfast at home is enough to make you fail in school. Not maybe just your parents are fighting, you can go to school and you're not paying attention because of everything that's happening at home. So I can't imagine how that was for you, because for this girl, we saw her and we could see that. Like, I always imagine, I wish I could go back and look for this girl. I wonder what her life is like right now, because not only did her father fail her, but the community, like LC5, like to the district level, they failed to solve this case and they had nowhere to take this girl. That was my first experience of being how do they say it, sometimes someone is going through something and you're like, let me give you some money, you do this. But I was like, what do you do for this girl? Because I asked my supervisor, I was like, so what are we going to do? And they said, we can't do anything. And I was like, if you met this girl as an adult, who are you to judge what she's doing with her life when you did not help her as a society? Because when she drops out of school, she probably gets pregnant, and then the school is like, oh, there's that school dropout. And then the society is like, Lava Malaya, like she's just, on the streets. And yet it all started with, they say some girls don't speak up, but she spoke up and nobody did anything to her. So maybe you can give us an understanding, because I'm imagining that you had to find coping ways at that age where you said, okay, my mom, she believes, she doesn't believe me. This woman believes, but nobody is stopping what is happening or actually giving you the support to actually give you the healing. How was school for you at that time? How did you see other students? Was it hard for you to understand? Because I imagine there's someone who is going through this and listening to you say it might give them a voice to what they might be experiencing right now.
Okay, so first of all,
Yeah.
my number one coping mechanism was actually locking in at school. I've always been very smart, but then I realized that when I found out I was not loved at home, it was now me and my books. Do you understand? So I focused so much on school to a point that even when someone needed me to do their work, I was available. Even assignments, I was that girl. Teacher is absent, I am that girl. You need anyone to copy notes, please, I am that girl. So I just focused on school so much, and I think it helped me cope. And then my brain protected me. I think our brains do this thing where if it's something very traumatic that's happened to you, they'll help you wipe that memory, try to protect you from thinking about whatever it is that you're going through, because you see, you're still seeing this person, you still have to come back home to this person every day, because I had to come back home to my abuser every day, you understand? So now imagine you reported to your mom did not help you, and then instead of her doing anything, she goes to maybe try confront your abuser. She's like, oh, Aleti, yagambye what ne what nekimanya alimba your mwana alimba, you understand? So now there's that shame, there's that humiliation. So your brain is working extra hard to make sure that you don't remember this pain. For some reason, I just stopped thinking about it. I told myself, you know what, it is what it is. And it kept on happening, because every day I went back home, my uncle would do the same thing, but there was no thought of it at all. I think I've fully now relived those experiences as an adult. You understand? And I'm like, oh my God, that was so bad. But as a child, I just simply gave in and I said, you know what? It is what it is. Just do whatever you guys want to do. Since my mother does not believe me, who is ever going to believe me? You understand? So yeah, my coping mechanism was school mainly. I literally didn't want to go back home. I was at school, 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 and that's how it's always been for the longest for most of my childhood. It was education. Yeah.
That's I'm thinking of, I think Tyler Perry, he said when his
Mm,
family, like at home, the parents were fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, there was so much chaos going on, and he said he remembers he had this tiny box that he used to go into and
mm,
disappear. He shared how when
yeah.
the parents were fighting, it was too much for him, so he would go into this box and just make up stories, and somehow those turned out to be it turned out to make him so creative, because he dealt with this trauma by creating scenarios in his head. And eventually, when he was older, he started to imagine. I think that's why most of his movies and series are based on women suffering, because I think he was like, okay, in his
That's all he
imaginary, this is
knew.
this story, this person in this man. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that speaks so much to the people that we see, because sometimes people
Mm,
think trauma is, oh, this kid is not going to perform well, but also
no.
overachievers also have something to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Like when someone is an overachiever, they 100% give into something and they forget anything else is happening. That is also a coping
Mm,
mechanism. And that's what I'm hearing you saying right now. Parents should not expect that my child is not performing well at school. Like even the one who is performing well might actually have experienced something. And even the
especially
teachers at
those
school need
ones
to
you need
understand. Oh, yes, exactly.
because
Yeah.
because you see, I became overly ambitious. You understand? Like I became overly ambitious, and yeah,
Yeah, true.
you need to check them. Like just check. You all sometimes you need to ask yourself why the sudden commitment to the books? Why? You understand? So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's I want you to speak to the system right now as it is. If someone is going through this, what should be the steps that you think should be taken? How can the system, let's build the system from the family structure. What I know, I have interviewed quite a number of people who are doing this work, and I know that for me, for my research, I realized that the referral system is very important. There's a lady I had on the podcast, and she started an organization where she is helping young girls who are being abused, because she was abused herself as a young girl by a caretaker at home. And she told me, she shared recently on her status sometime last year, and she was posting how a young girl has been abused and they are trying to figure everything out. And then she's like, yeah, guys, we need money. We are trying to build a case at the police station. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what is happening to this girl? Like, has anybody sat her down to explain what is happening? How, like, are they seeing her as a human being or just someone whose case they want to report? And then eventually it turns out that this girl, as she was trying to find money, she finds there's an organization that actually provides legal care. It provides, like, it does everything for people. And that's one thing that made me to think, okay, maybe we can have a referral system on the She Center platform, because if something is happening to someone, it could be that your mom ignored it, but your neighbor has seen it and wants to help. So that neighbor could be the one to refer you and say, you know what, there's this specific organization that can help you in case you want to do so and so and so. So that is from my conclusion as an outsider who this hasn't happened to. But you, as the person who this has happened to, what would you think that girl needs in that moment?
okay. First of all, there's something I've been telling people. I've been saying that therapy should be, first of all, mandatory in schools. It should be introduced somehow in a way. But before now, let's say the government or anyone puts up this system of, oh, therapy is free and all those things, and the teachers check in every now and then, it has to begin at home.
Yeah.
You, the parent, the guardian, you have to be friends with this child. there were seasons of my life where I had to lie to get out of situations as a child. And I don't know if we'll get to that, but maybe we'll get to that at some point because it affected me it shaped me as an adult because I became a serial liar. You understand? But now that was
Yeah.
during my time on, yeah, that was my time on the streets. Literally, you had to lie to survive on the streets. You understand? Now, if your child ever comes to you and says, "Oh, ABCD is happening to me. This is going on. Uncle is doing this. Auntie touched my boob." Maybe the first thing you want to do is listen to them before you react out of anger. So I think the problem is most of the parents and guardians are very stressed. Everyone is stressed. Your marriage is stressing you. Work is stressing you. The business is failing. You have a patient. You are your family's backbone. So there's a lot going on. We tend to forget that all these children actually also need us. You see, when it comes to you as a guardian and a parent, you have to first put your needs aside and focus on the child. You understand? Because I feel like if my mother
Yeah.
had believed me, I would not have ended up the way I ended up. You understand? So if only she had just listened to me and said, "Okay, okay, I'll look into it. I will maybe do something. I'll," if she had listened to me. So listening goes a long way. Like just sit her down and try to understand how, it doesn't matter him or her, sit them down and try to understand why they're saying what they're saying. Sit uncle down or auntie and confront immediately, literally immediately. And also I've realized that when most of these things happen in families, if your relative abuses you, all the family is going to do is call for a family meeting, and the uncles will be like, "Oh, don't take him to police. You know, his uncle wound his son. We're cousins. Doesn't make sense. It's going to bring shame." Blah, blah, blah. I feel like even if it's a cousin that has done
Yeah.
it to your child, they should serve. They should be able to go to court. They
True.
should be arrested and taken to prison. Now, you as a family, if all you guys can say is, "No, no, no, we cannot do that. He's a relative. Let's just forgiveness," because we had many of those, but same thing happened. A month later, he was back to doing the same thing. You understand? And now, when it comes to relatives who are like favorites, when it comes to like uncle, being uncle is everyone's favorite. Everyone is going to say, "Oh, she's lying," and that's it. She's a child, maybe she's confused. Me, I
Yeah.
didn't do anything. I was only bathing her. And then now suddenly they're beating you and asking, "Where did you learn those things from? Why, how could you say that about uncle? Uncle left school to come and take care of you. How could you say that?" And then your mother is telling you, "You're so ungrateful. This person has left everything to come and take care of you, and all you have to think about is, oh, the person has sexually abused you." Do you understand? So yeah, before
Yeah. Yeah.
we put these measures in place, the one thing you need to do as a parent is be able to listen to your child, be their friend. You understand? Because I don't think they can wake up one morning and just say, "Oh, someone touched my susu and did ABCD." If they're lying, that's a very sensitive thing for a child to just come up with. You understand? So for the little girl out there, the best thing you can do for them is just give them your time and listen to them. Try to understand, investigate, and yeah, when you find out, please go to the police. Yeah, I just really, really wish someone had embraced me that way.
Yeah. And do you think the
Mm.
police or the system does the right thing? Because I feel like it's more like case, like they have built a case and then you arrest the person. But has that helped the survivor?
No. You see, the systems in Uganda are dead, but I hope that we get to a point where we revive them. I feel like things are changing. I'm not gonna lie, things are changing a bit. But halfway back, things were really, really dead. Things are still dead. Systems don't work
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So even if you take someone to the police, all they can do is pay the police and they'll be released the next day. Or the case suddenly becomes civil
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, talk about it and let him apologize and go home." Like, you understand? So
Embarrassing.
me now,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. Also, they're putting you in an office as a child, the whole police, everyone is looking at you. People are calling each other to come and say, "Come and look at this child." Now, if there is press, newspapers taking pictures and like it's just embarrassing. The whole thing is embarrassing. And it feels like instead of them protecting you, they are exposing you. Do you
The
understand?
child. Yeah.
So yeah, they're exposing the child. It's just, and then the fact that the name sticks with you, like Oyomana, they raped her, it sticks with you.
The
There's
one.
that
Yeah.
stigma, you understand? Like the whole village knows they raped her. So literally, all these parents are trying to protect their kids from you. You understand? Don't play with her. She has bad manners. They raped her. Do you understand? So like there's all those things. So I don't know. The justice system, I keep saying, has failed us, but I hope and pray that things get better. But yes, either way, I don't think we should give up on
Yeah.
the police. Justice should be served. We need to just keep pushing, because if we
Yeah.
don't keep pushing, then what's going to happen? We need to push for systems to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, it takes time, and I do understand that. For instance, um, in 2020, my cousin shared a story of her friend who got abused in at her home. Like the robbers came, they robbed her, and then they raped her. And because there was the pandemic, the struggle was for her to even get people to come and take her to the hospital or to report the case. And they just kept changing her
Mm.
from one place to another. Like,
Oh my God.
go to police, and the police is like, we need a case, like in the hospital is like, we need. So they were like moving around, and in that moment I just thought, what was this girl like? She just experienced something so traumatic in that moment, and there isn't someone who is like, people are just either dying to get her checked, others are dying
Uh-huh.
to make sure that she reports the case, and the police will be probably
Mm.
asking questions like, did you see their faces, what time,
What
if you were probably
happened?
in the bar, what were you wearing, if you were what
Mm.
happened. And now all that stuff they're asking. And then later on, I was surprised, because when I was doing my research, it turns out there are so many NGOs that are helping
Oh yeah.
women in this case. So I'm thinking,
Mm.
there's an organization that started in 2020 called Frauen UG. There is FIDA. There's so many organizations whose entire
Mm.
like program is based on helping women like this, providing for them legal care, counseling, and all those things. The system right now is mostly based on the support of community-based organizations, churches, and different
Mm.
organizations that are there to help. And
Yeah.
for me, that's what inspired me to start She's Center, because your story is not isolated.
Mm.
It's a story that's happening to different people. My relatives have gone through this. I have friends. I have people on the podcast who have shared they have gone through this, and people who are still going through it right now. And it doesn't even have to be a child. It can be a mom who is facing abuse from her own family members. And this speaks to more than just abuse. It speaks to maybe you can also share a little bit more on some of the things that happened, like that you talked about being on the streets. You've talked about trying to find ways to survive as a human being in different formats, good or bad. And what I want to highlight in this conversation is the fact that this was my starting point. My starting point was, how can we create a space where we are able to help a woman, a young girl, or the community to be able to find everything that a woman can be able to help. For the listener to understand more of what exactly happened to you after all these things happen, maybe you can tell us some of the things that happened after that. You can tell us about life on the street, about how you managed to, figure things out to say, okay, I'm going to do this, how your relationships have been like, with regards to the dealing with people, dealing with community, the people in your space, how you have been seeing them. And then we can be able to conclude with a message to the listener who is out there.
For
Yeah.
starters, you said something about, oh, there's so many NGOs, there's so many communities that can help, or so most of these people are just there for show. In actual sense, if you walk through their doors and you said, I need help, they'll tell you, we don't have the budget to take care of you. We have so many places in Uganda that parade themselves as, we are an NGO, we can take you in. But if you randomly walked in today, they will tell you, we have nowhere to put you. And now the real small organizations are not even organizations. They're just kind-hearted human beings that will take you in, are not even registered or known by anyone. They're just random well-wishers,
Yeah.
people that have good hearts. Could be maybe they have a big home and their children are now all adults. They've left the city, or they went out of the country, or they went to Kampala to work, so they space at home. They need you to come also and maybe help them with work. Like it is just so strange, because now for me, How I ended up on the street, of course, was it's a long story. I really don't want to go back into that. But now me ending up on the street was my when my mother passed away. She, of course, my uncles and aunties, my relatives were supposed to take me in, but they did not take me in. So I ran away from my uncle's house to go to one of my mom's best friends. And when I go to my mom's best friend, she literally turned me into a slave, a house help, and a lot was going on. I was sexually abused. She owned a brothel, and I was sexually abused. I was getting pregnant, and they were forcing me to abort so many times. And one day I refused to do what she was asking me to do, and she gets pissed. So she's now telling me, you possess your mom's spirit, you possess, it's your mom's spirit. So we need to take you to a church and they pray for you. So she's driving me down to this village. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to a church until we get to the place, and I realize, oh, it's a shrine. You understand? So also, I now it hits me that, oh, I've been married off because the guy is claiming he paid my bride price. He gave my auntie some money, so I'm married, and things are also not going well. I'm septic, and this guy is still forcing me to like have sex. So the frustration from that whole situation forced me to run away and now go to the streets. You understand? So before I went to the streets, of course, I went to church. I went to churches. I tried to go to, you sit at restaurants, at hotels, but everyone is chasing you. Go, 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 go. Whenever street by you go, go away. You understand? So like, where do I go? Now I ended up at
Yeah.
a cemetery opposite Internal Affairs. There's that place that had British American tobacco. So I was seated
Yes,
there
yes.
with another girl that I met on the streets. Our stories were almost the same. So the boys that were on the street as well, the street kids, are telling us, why are you seated here? It's now dark. You need to go home. It's not safe. So we're telling them, oh, we have nowhere else to go. So now, of course, they're telling you, I know where I can take you. There's a place I can take you, and they'll let you sleep. So now they're taking us all the way to Chisenyi. They first took us to a place in Katanga, and that place was full. So now they're taking us to a place in Chisenyi to this guy is telling us, oh, I can give you somewhere to sleep, but you have to pay 3,000 a day. 3,000 a day to share a mattress, like for three people. You understand? A very tiny mattress at 1 inch. Um, so the situation there was not, of course, very, very, very good. And if you fail to pay the 3K, they tell you, we can tell you what, we can give you a job. And now for you to think, oh, they're going to give me a job, maybe a decent job, and the job is literally they teach you how to to become a thief, like a petty thief, go snatch things from random people. So first of all, as a child, you literally, you don't know the city very well. I grew up in Chigo, so I didn't. We only left Chigo to go either visit a relative who also was not very far away from us, or go to church, which was not very far from us. Like my mother did not. We didn't move a lot. You understand? So you don't know where to start from. You don't know where to go. There's no one to turn to, because now the people that were supposed to be your guardians have let you down. You understand?
Yeah.
So the one thing that you're left with is like going to the streets. You go to a church, and the church is going to chase you. They're like, "Oh, thief, thief, go away." Do you understand? So that's why when you say that there's so many organizations, I still believe that most of these organizations are here for few, for sure. They just literally are looking for funding to just satisfy themselves. I don't think I can comfortably say that I really don't think I've seen, and maybe they are there. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've not experienced um, any that maybe helped me as a child, or a few of them helped, but they were not organizations. They were human beings also who wanted
Yeah.
something from you. You understand? There had to be an
Yeah.
exchange there. Like, okay, maybe you help us fetch water, we house you. You help us uh, do like run errands, chores. There was
Yeah.
always something attached to it. You understand? And
Yeah.
now, of course, as a child, there's not much you can do. But now, fast forward to me being an adult. This is just last year, 2025 February, when I was homeless.
Before.
Um, even as an adult, you look for where to go and you can't find a place to go to. I think this was 2024, December. Well, all the way to 2025, I was homeless for the longest time, and you don't know where to go. There's no, you cannot think of a place like randomly, and you're like, oh, let me go to this organization, oh, let me go to this home. We don't have homes in Uganda like they have homes in America, or
Safe places, yeah. Mm-hmm.
we don't have those where you can just walk in and sleep for a few days as you try to figure things out. You understand? I went to the prayer mountain up here in Seguku and stayed there for a while until a kind stranger um, told me to go to another prayer mountain in Nebi. You know, that place that holds the world's smallest church. I
Mm-hmm.
stayed there for a while. I only left in June, and they took care of me. They fed me, they clothed me. They literally, the church took me in. So it was also a humbling experience, given the fact that I was are they called agonists? My relationship with God was a bit weird because I stopped believing in God when my mom passed away. Because I mean, you as my mother was a woman of God. I was a pastor's kid, so
Yeah.
as a woman of God, if my mother is not believing me, then are you trying to say there is a God? Really, there's no God. Because yeah. So my
True,
relationship
true.
with God has always been very, very on and off. I've experienced spiritual psychosis and locked in there, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, Jesus, this and that. I try to go to Bible school. It's crazy. But yeah, even as an adult,
Yeah.
if you think of like where to go, there's literally no open home that's like going to take you
Nowhere.
in. Do you understand? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need
Yeah.
a safe space, not one, not two. I feel like we need safe spaces in every
Many.
region in Uganda,
Mm-hmm.
very many. You understand? So that if
Mm-hmm.
anything happens to you, you can easily go back. Because now let me give you an
True.
example. At some point, when I left the streets, a stranger took me in
Mm-hmm.
at some point. But I realized that the stranger was also doing the same. That this person was sexually abusing me. And one thing about
Yeah.
sexual abuse is that if you have encountered, if you've been through so much of
Yeah.
that, if
The
you've
pattern.
experienced so much of that, the pattern, you stop caring
Mm-hmm.
and you start
Yeah.
convincing
Yeah.
yourself that, maybe me, this is who I am. Maybe everyone is supposed to just
It's
sexually
normal.
abuse me. It's a normal thing. You
Mm.
just literally let people, you don't even fight anymore when someone is trying to do whatever they want to do. You don't fight anymore. You're like, you know what? Yeah, do it. If they could do it to me at 9 and no one cared, what, nothing. Just do your thing and walk away. You understand? But also now that affects how it affects your relationship with sex when you now get into a serious relationship. Because you
Yeah.
see now you are
Yeah.
with
True.
you are with this person who is serious about you, and you
The
can't even, you're
pattern.
not yeah, you don't know anything about intimacy and everything
Emotionally,
scares
you
you.
closed off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're closed off.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're struggling, and every time he's maybe trying to just literally hold your hand, you think he's trying to fight you. There's all, it's crazy. Like it affects you in so many ways. I wish abusers
Yeah.
know what they put us through, but you know what? Um, that's not our
Yeah.
place. We can't really ask those questions. But yeah, we need homes, as many homes as possible. We need a safe
True.
space also. we we
Yeah.
need we need we need to be each other's keeper. You understand? We need to be
Mm-hmm.
whistleblowers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think as a country there's a lot of stigma around. Things are changing, the women are now woke, but there's a lot of stigma when it comes to sexual abuse.
Before we conclude, because I don't want to take more of your time. I want us to talk about, because there is a young girl that recently died. One of the things that your story shared about was this whole experience of traveling abroad, for domestic work, and doing all sorts of things because of financial pressures of women. And I think you're the best person to help me to break this down so people can really understand what forces people to do this. Because I've watched several documentaries, and in those documentaries, people are literally sharing how like they just go because their friend recommended them to go and do something. It's like, come and get this job, it's cool, and the next thing you know, you're stuck in a whole ring of crime, and you can't
Mm.
come out there. And then something happens to you, like the girl who recently passed on, the one who was murdered in her house. And everyone's stories are, oh, she was doing this, how was she able to afford all the things that she was doing, blah blah blah. They deserve what they're getting. Please help us break this down, because I know you've shared how you've been in this space. I think it would be good for us to shine some light on it, to be able to make the young girls out there who are trying their best, like to sell everything that they can just so they can pay the money to travel abroad, or for the person who is living abroad and right now is stuck there and they cannot come out?
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, human trafficking. Before we even talk about the whole labor exports thing, human trafficking is as real
Yeah.
as it gets. And chances are the people that are going to traffic you are not going to be strangers. They'll be the people that are closest to you. Because most of these girls, okay, let me give you an example. I'm going to use me for example. I like to use me for example. When I left
Yeah.
Uganda to go abroad and start doing whatever it is that we were doing, a friend of mine brought the idea. This is someone I'd known from secondary school. And when she said, or when I told her, oh, things are not good here, can I come out there and we maybe try work, do something? Because you're thriving, it looks like you're doing well. You understand? This was the Facebook era, but you could tell that she was doing okay, life was good. We were kids. We were in our early 20s, but well, maybe mid 20s. And she was saying, yeah, you come. Oh, there's this and this. Come, let me show you what to do today. She planned everything. I left my country. I left Uganda. I was in South Africa initially because I met some people on the streets and we became friends. So even as adults, you are still friends. And one of these people was a sangoma in South Africa, a fake one. You understand? So before I left for Dubai, I went to South Africa to do all those fake staged rituals and miracles. It was proper fraud. It was proper fraud. But you see, even me ending up there, I didn't realize it was going to be that way until it was too late. You understand? But also because I was overly ambitious. After everything that I'd been through, I told myself I have to win in this life. I have to win. If I'm going to still do whatever it is that I have to do, I'm going to do it to win. Now, you see, being overly ambitious is a good thing, but you need to slow down. You understand? Like, please slow down. Like, some things are really not worth it. You understand? So when I left South Africa to go to Dubai, things had gotten bad on the other side. So my friend was like, "You come, let's hustle." Now I'm getting to Dubai and I realized that, oh, she's also having me, like, she's convincing me to stay here with her because she was also trafficked.
Yeah.
Basically, she had a debt with these people. So for her to be released easily, she had to recruit as many people as possible. You understand? So chances are your friend is going to traffic you and you won't even realize until it's too late and they've taken away your passport. You understand? So I keep telling girls that if there is no urgency, right, you really have no reason to sell your land, your ancestral home, sell your car, sell. If you have a comfortable life in Kampala, by comfortable life, what do I mean? You have a house that you're able to afford, maybe 200,000, again 300,000, even if it's 150. The challenge is we have put ourselves on so much pressure. You want to only stay in a house that is above 1.5. There's a lot of pressure. You
Yes.
want to live, you have to live like a certain person. You see now, every time you come on, you log into your Instagram or TikTok, you're seeing all these people traveling, you're seeing all these people living their best lives, and you don't realize, because you see, there was a time in between 2020 2021 where I traveled a lot, and there were so many girls in my DM asking questions. You understand? How do you do this? Oh my God, how do you do this? I almost had them trafficked, but I was like, I cannot do this. You understand? But they're willing. They're like, take me, please, me, I'm willing. I can do anything. Take me. You understand? So that whole being overly ambitious
Yeah.
and then not, you don't realize that social media is actually, for some people, it is a facade. Like, you also need to make peace with the fact that some people
Yes.
are naturally blessed. Some people come from very good homes. Some people have parents that have worked so hard and there's money.
Exactly.
So now for
Yeah.
you, yeah. So for you coming to the internet to compare yourself to, like, a rich man's kid, you're going to crash because you see, this girl can call her dad and
Yeah.
she's like, "Can I have 50 million?" And the dad is like, "Come home, pick it." Now you, who grew up without a mom, a dad, you grew up on the streets, you're comparing yourself to someone like that, you're going to crash. So comparison is the thief of joy, of course. So do not, one, compare yourself to anyone.
It
When you come
is.
to the internet, do not come here to use to view all these people's stories and let it get to you. I keep telling people that if you ever come to the internet and you're watching someone maybe buy a car, buy a house, and you're triggered and you feel like you should also have that, it's time for you to go touch grass. Like you need to get out of your head, because now you
Delete
see
the app.
you are delete the app. You are in your head and you're going to crash. You understand? So yeah,
Yes, yes,
we
yeah,
just need to
true.
calm down and live within our means, and we need to go back to sensitizing the girls and telling them it is okay to stay in a 150,000 Uganda shillings house. It is okay to spend under a
That's what you
hundred
can
dollars on
afford.
rent. That is what you can afford. But now you see some
Yes.
of you have these jobs and they pay you 800,000, but your rent is 500,000. What are you doing? When are you going to save? How are you going to buy yourself like a nice perfume, a nice outfit, a nice bag? Do you understand? Because now every
I
time you get rent, you
know.
have to take 500,000 off to pay your rent. You understand? I mean, to this day, I stay in a house of 300,000. And I'm not in a position I used to be in. I'm in a better place. I mean, if I wanted to stay in a house of 1.5, I can afford it right now. But I had to learn the
Yeah,
hard way.
yeah.
And you see,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately for
Mm-hmm.
some of us, there was no one to hold our hand or teach us or say, do this. Da, da, da. We just didn't know better. But now you
Mm-hmm.
guys, everyone is currently blessed.
Mm-hmm.
There's now a platform like yours, Rusty. There's now people like me who are out here on the internet giving you all
Mm-hmm.
this information. You
Speaking
understand?
about it, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about it for
Mm-hmm.
you guys to
Mm-hmm.
be able to not mess up the way we did mess up. So if you can sit down and watch,
Yes.
sit through maybe Rusty's podcast and you don't pick anything, then we don't know how to help you. We are literally trying everything to sensitize you and tell you this is not
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
crazy. The
true.
whole trafficking thing, the whole labor exports thing. I don't know. I feel like if you have a job here in Uganda, or if you can, maybe if you're running your business and it's sustaining you, you necessarily don't have to go abroad unless it's like maybe a legit job and you know that I don't know, unless it's really, really legit. But if you're not sure about who is taking you, why are they willing to sponsor your ticket and visa suddenly? Why are they in a rush? Like, why are they telling you, but you must be here by next week, Wednesday? Like, you need to also sit down and think about why they're doing what they're doing. You need to, most people fear to people don't introspect anymore. They don't sit down to see, okay, what am I doing wrong? If you really are not sure about what you're going to do out there, maybe don't go. It's really, the pressure is not necessary, because at the end of the day, you might go through all
It's
this
really not.
trouble, go out there, look for all this money, you're trafficked, you're sexually abused, you're subjected to all sorts of things, and then you end up dead. So
True, true.
we
And
just
we've
need to
seen the
learn.
stories. It's amazing how we
Yeah,
see the stories and yet people are still going.
to this day, people want to go, but I think if we start practicing stoicism a bit, it will help us. Just you don't have to. It's not necessary, really. That money you're trying to get, you can get here if you work hard or smart and focused. You really can. You don't need 100 million on your account. You just need, yeah. You don't need all
Money
that
to
money at
survive.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah, you really can be
yeah.
okay back home. Mm.
I believe that as well. Aleti, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know this has been a very long recording. I just want, first of all, to speak into you. It always takes someone to go through something for another person to be able to see, okay, I really don't want to end up in that situation. And it takes boldness. I know people just look at you and they think you're creating content. I don't know who I was talking to. I posted your clip of Bonnie. I reshared Bonnie's
Mm.
status, and someone texted me because she's doing law. She's like, "Oh, they will arrest her. They will do this." I'm like, "My dear, there comes a point in a woman's life where she is tired. Like she's tired, and she's just takes the law into her hands. And if she
Let me
says
tell
she's going to
you.
beat the men up, we are ready to come behind her and help her."
One thing is for sure. If you know, I've had so many people come out. Oh my God, they're going to arrest you. That's really on that list of my worries. Getting arrested is not even a problem. I don't care. That does not scare me. I think the first time I was arrested, I was what, 12 years? No, sorry, 14 years old. So
Yeah.
that does not scare me because my whole life has been in and out of prison, in and out. That does not scare me at all. The day most of these people say these things, they speak from a point of privilege. They've not seen life like we've seen life. they've not been in any like
True.
maybe
Yeah.
close space with people that have
True.
experienced um, crimes of passion and all those things. You don't know what you're talking about. Now, once the system fails you, it gets to a point where you're done. And once you're done, you are really, really done. Like I've gotten to a point where I'm done. I am done. And I've lost so many friends to one, suicide. I've lost them to crimes of passion. I've lost friends to so many other things. You get to a point and you're like, I'm not losing any
Yeah.
other person. I am not losing myself again, number one, and I'm not losing any other person. Now, about the justice system, they can always arrest you. But I keep telling people that even if today, tomorrow, I slapped a man because he raped a child and they arrest me, even on the day I'm released, I will slap them again so that they take me back. You understand? And I will do it again until the justice
True.
system wakes
Yeah.
up and they do what they're supposed to do. You understand? Because why should a rapist be on the same streets as this child they abused? You understand?
The
Why should they be?
victim.
Why should
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Yes. Why are they being released after 2 days? Please take them to Luzira or something.
Mm,
You understand?
mm,
And
mm-hmm,
people who have
mm,
petty
yeah.
petty crimes are in Luzira, and a rapist is walking around like nothing happened.
The
Some of them
streets.
have been,
Yeah.
some of these things have been normalized to a point of like, if you go to a village, they'll be like, oh, you're trying money, no, no, that's him. He raped good and rapes good, but he's still
Yeah.
there. Those village drunkards who just sit in the corner and they just be abusing girls like nothing. They are untouchable. They are, no. The justice system, if we have failed, if I keep telling people that one of these days I'll just literally walk to the streets and me, I don't mind fighting by myself. I don't mind. If we can save one girl or two, I would do it. Let them shoot me. I'm ready. Dear, let me be shot tomorrow, but at least I will save one girl. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Them
Justice has
these
been
oh
served. Yeah.
I don't care. Arrest is not even a problem. I don't care. That has been
Mm,
my life, so
yeah.
it doesn't scare me. My
We
point
need to,
is,
we need
you
to
have.
campaign for Aleti. Women, let's
Uh,
come together and campaign for Aleti to be our. What ministry should Museveni give you? The
I
ministry
was
of
telling them
hanging
that
men.
I was telling them that in the next election, I'm going to make sure that I'm running for Kampala Woman
Please,
MP.
please, we are here to campaign. We
Yeah,
are here
because
to
it
campaign.
doesn't make sense anymore. And I think from the time I joined TikTok, because I've always been on Instagram, not on the other side.
Mm-hmm,
So when you're on Instagram, Instagram is a bit
mm-hmm,
different. People are just nonchalant, aesthetics, nothing serious. When I went
yeah,
to TikTok and
yeah.
shared my story, just one story like this, my DMs were blowing up and I was reading all these people's situations and I'm like, what? I was like, enough is enough.
God.
If I'm going to be the whistleblower and I have to stand alone, I'm stronger alone. I don't have a problem. You understand? But you see the thing
I should
about
do that. Clutch it.
the no, like seriously, I was like, enough
I
is
should do
enough.
this instead. No,
Yeah.
true, true. Aleti, I think to be honest, I have an auntie, and when she shared with me that our uncle abused her, oh my god,
Hmm.
the rage that I had, like the
Yeah.
anger,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even want to ever see this man again. And then she was like,
Thank
Christy,
you.
me, I moved on, like I found my healing, I'm fine. But the interesting thing is, like, everybody has their thing on this earth that they have to do. Like,
Hmm.
I always tell people on this podcast that there is a unique agitation for everybody. What you see me
Hmm.
stressing my life, like, Bobby Wine is willing to go to prison for that thing because that's his unique agitation. Aleti is willing to
Yeah.
go to prison because her unique agitation is akoya basajja. Like, she's tired
I'm
of
tired.
men abusing. Yeah,
Please,
exactly.
please,
So people need to
just
understand that
book
if it's
me.
not your
Book
burden,
me to Luzira. I'm ready. Book me for a whole year. Even when I am released on that same day, I will slap someone. Because, hey, no, enough. Enough is enough, guys. Something needs to change. There needs to be a
no,
shift.
yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's going to become one of those things like Aleti has been arrested, guys. Let's collect funds and bring her out to
Yeah.
beat some more
Bring her
people. I think we
out.
should just start a
No, for
fund.
real. For real. I'm actually, let me tell
Yeah,
you,
women, let's
I'm,
gather.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I love
Mm.
that. I think I hear where you're coming from. And for me, I don't even come from that place of, is she going to get arrested? All I'm hearing is, no, this woman is tired. So
I'm
I
tired.
hope that many people don't just see it as just yeah, I'm just your facade. Like, I just want to, get
No,
content, but rather see,
please.
to listen to your whole story and understand it as a whole, and understand that there's a reason why Aleti is who she is right now. Before we
Mm.
conclude, I just wanted you to let me know what healing means for you. Like, what is healing? Because I know you've taken on the journey. You are trying to make the changes in society, but you have also decided to choose yourself and say, I'm finding the healing. So, any woman out there who is experiencing this, or who is even afraid to let people know, oh my God, what Alet is saying, it has happened to me, how can they find that healing?
Okay, first of all, you said, what's healing to me? Healing is literally freedom. Do you understand? It's you saying, for the very first time in my life, I'm going to put me first. I know my mother, my auntie, my uncle, everyone failed me, and I failed myself at some point. But I'm only living for the very first time. No one gave me a memo. No one gave me a manual, sorry, to say, oh, this is what you should
Yeah.
do. This is what you... No one. You understand? I had to figure things out. We are all on different timelines. Some people have never experienced any sort of pain, no pressure, no loss, no nothing. They've had such peaceful lives. And then there's people like me who are the exact opposite. Total chaos from the very day you were conceived. Do you understand? So for me, healing is freedom. I'm finally enjoying. I'm finally living my life without any fear of, oh my God, I'm suppressing a certain emotion. You understand? Oh my God, I'm going to remember that Gondi raped me and then I'm triggered. Oh, when someone mentions the word rape, I'm triggered. When someone mentions the word trafficking, I'm triggered. When someone says, oh my God, fraud, scam, I'm triggered because that's who I used to be. You understand? So it's for me, it's freedom. It's just been so. It's a beautiful walk. We all need to experience life, but now with a more regulated nervous system, with a calm nervous system, with giving extending a lot of grace, because we extend grace to others but we don't to like ourselves. So
To
healing
ourselves.
for
Yeah.
me is freedom. It's freedom. You need to free yourself from everything that you have been through. First of all, sit through whatever it is that you went through.
Yeah.
Free yourself, allow yourself feel these emotions one last time, and then walk through those things. Make peace with the fact that, oh, this happened. I cannot change a thing. It happened. It is okay. Apologize. I'm sorry, Aleti. I put you through ABCD. I didn't know better. But you see, I'm going to give you better moving forward. You understand? So healing for me is it's freedom. It's been freeing. After now the whole looking for seeking justice and all those things. Yeah, the best gift you can give yourself is find healing. Go to therapy. It's not so hard. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
therapy is really also not easy, because you see now, in the beginning, they are trying to trigger all these emotions afresh. So you're out there asking yourself, why do I have to put myself through this again? It's very, very important that you sit
Yeah.
through the situation and understand the situation from someone else's point of
Yeah.
view. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and just it's just going to help you feel better. Like, just do that for yourself. You understand?
Yeah.
There's something called is
True.
it called catharsis? Catharsis. I think it's when you allow yourself feel all these emotions and um experiences, and
Yeah.
just release all these things through art. It could be you can release in so many ways, but I feel like catharsis is the best closure you'll ever give yourself. You understand?
Yeah. True.
Instead of going to these
Yeah.
people to look for to confront and find closure, yeah, just focus on this. Like, focus on you. Go to therapy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Therapy is very important. Yeah. Aleti, I've read a book called The Body Keeps the Score. I don't know if you've read it.
Mm.
And
No.
this guy talks about how people try to hide these wounds, like these invisible wounds that they're dealing with. But it doesn't matter whether you turn 50, 60, 70. Your body is going to always show, like through what you're doing, what you're living.
Sure.
the body is going to keep communicating over and over again that there's this one thing that you need to. You spoke about something earlier that I read in the book about this woman who had faced abuse and she had shut it out of her mind. Like she tried to forget it. Somehow her brain kind of like made her, like she just buried it underneath all of it. And later on she gets into this relationship with a man and she just struggled. Like she really, really struggled. Like the guy would be touching her and she would just like beat him up so badly. And so
Yeah,
she
yeah.
went and she's wondering what is causing this. So the guy was talking about how some of those things to people, it just shows you that the person who did this to you is someone very close to you. It was amazing to hear something like that. He said he knew from the beginning the woman walked into his room that she had been abused by a family member, but the woman did not remember it until that
Yeah.
woman one day was in a circle of people who were sharing their stories, and she told him, she was like, oh my God, I think I have experienced what this person is talking about. So there are also some people who have experienced this kind of trauma, but they don't even know. Like you don't know that someone raped you at 3 years, 6 years old until you hear
Yeah.
someone speak about how it happened to them. That's when you start to say, oh my God, I think that thing happened to me. So
Yeah.
it's really amazing how you've talked about community, because what this guy talks about is we need to be trauma informed. And you've called out schools, you've called out police systems, you've called out all systems. People need to understand even at home, like you need to be trauma informed. Don't put your, this happened to me, let's keep quiet about it on your child, because this is going to be a Aleti in the future who is
Yeah.
also, because she's hurt, she's going to hurt other people. And then you're, as a society, you're just there looking at her saying, look at her. And yet you are the reason why she turned into the person who she is. So thank you so much for continuing to share your story. What I wanted to say was, we are waiting for your talk show.
Yeah.
I would be the first subscriber to this talk show. I think now that you are on a journey of healing, would be the best time for you to break these things down and try to give us a breakthrough of what your healing is like. I would definitely want to hear more of your story from you on your own platform at a longer on like
Yeah.
a whole episode, not just a clip. Yes,
Not a
so
clip, yes, yes.
please, if you could help us start a talk show, a podcast, I am sure us women and men are going to be very, very excited for this. Please think
Yeah.
about it
Um,
and give us
I'm on
that one
it
thing. We
actually.
need it. We need it.
Very, very soon.
We
Very,
need
very
it.
soon it will
Yes.
be
So
launching. Yeah.
thank you.
Mm.
Please, please. Yeah. Thank you so much, Aleti, for your time. This means a
Thanks for
lot.
having me.
And thank you for being the voice for so many women who are not able to speak for themselves. It takes a lot of courage. And they say when someone finds healing, oh, the system breaks down. All the people, I've heard you
Yeah.
share that, all the people who depended on you, all the people who took you for advantage, right now, they're like, we need the Aleti back who was giving us everything that we needed. Because when someone becomes change, then everyone around them has to understand, no, I'm no longer going to be your doormat. I'm no longer going to be
Yeah.
the silent voice. I'm going to now like live in my full person. And I think it looks
Yes.
good on you. Healing looks good on you. So thank you once again.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Are there any
Thank you.
last
Thank
words
you.
that you want to say before we conclude? I would like to give you the opportunity.
Nothing
Or do you
much.
feel like
First
you've
of all,
said
thank you.
everything?
Yeah, well, I've not actually said, we've not even scratched the surface really, but thank you so much for
I
having
know,
me.
I know.
And yeah, I would just encourage women to just be each other's keeper. And also,
Keepers.
if
Yeah.
you have a problem, like it has anything to do with abuse, maybe talk to someone. Find someone to talk to. Also, all these organizations that are parading themselves as NGOs, those are always open. Maybe do what you're supposed to be doing instead of just being in here to look for a grant, a fund somewhere. You understand?
True.
There are people
True.
literally suffering, and you guys are just out here showing up and acting like you're doing all these things, but you're trying to get funding from maybe abroad or I don't know where. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you're parading
Yeah.
yourself as a refuge for these hurt girls and boys, please be that. Don't just be. Don't practice what you preach. Basically, just practice what you preach. And yeah, guys, go to therapy. That's what I'm going to say. Mm.
Everything Aleti has shared today, the absence of protection, the lack of mental health support, the financial desperation, the hunger for community, these are not personal, guys. These are not personal failures. They are design failures. The system around here, or the system around us, the system around her, they were not designed to catch her. And that is true for millions of women across this continent right now. So She Center is my answer to that design failure. It is a platform built specifically for East African women, a space where you can find mental health support, financial resources, community information about your rights, and above all, a place where someone sees you, where you are not alone. Aleti, thank you not just for your words today, but for your willingness to let your story become something bigger than yourself, for letting it become a mirror and a call to action all at once. To everyone listening, if you had yourself in any part of what Aleti shared today, if you are in a situation you do not know how to get out of, if you are carrying trauma you have never had space to name, if you are a woman who has felt invisible, She Center was built for you. So find us. You are not alone. And if you know a woman who needs to hear this episode, share it, please. Because the girl who needed Aleti's story to find her is out there right now. Let us make sure it does. This has been the She Center podcast. Please visit www.shecenterplatform.com to find out more about this platform. Until next time, be seen, be heard, be held. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Please help me spread the word by sharing our episodes with your friends, family, and followers. Let's amplify the voices of women, break barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create a network of support and empowerment. Together, we can bring about positive change and make this world a better place for all. This is She Center, the female podcast, where women's stories matter. I love you all. God bless.